Hey guys, so I know it's the weekend, I know it's Thanksgiving weekend, so I'm not gonna be on here too long. All right, but I wanted to get on here really quickly to talk about a pretty serious topic. Hopefully you guys come in soon, but I wanted to talk about the topic, a post that I made yesterday, okay? And I wanna kind of give more context, to the post for people that may have, been on the post and not really understand what I was talking about, or not really understand, why I made, that post. But I want to talk about why fibroid surgery, is really dangerous for Black women. I really think it's dangerous for all women, but I think especially for Black women. I'm going to explain why, okay? After just gathering up so much information and also talking to so many people, because when I made that post about the 29-year-old woman, who went in for fibroids and, ended up having a full hysterectomy, and she did not know until she woke up from surgery, that, people were sending me messages. They say either saying that they have been in the same situation, that had happened to them as well. They went in just to remove their fibroids and they ended up having a full hysterectomy, or it's happened to somebody in their family, their mother, their sister, their best friend, or, it's their cousin. So I got so many, my inbox was flooded yesterday. So let me just explain to you guys the post a little bit. So in case you did not know, yesterday I made a post about a 29-year-old Black woman who went in for surgery. She went in to have fibroid surgery, a myomectomy, and ended up, while she was under it, taking out her whole uterus. So it ended up being a hysterectomy. This is not something that she wanted, because she wanted to have children and all of that stuff. And I actually know somebody that's personally that's actually representing her case, because she's suing the hospital. And the reason why they ended up having a hysterectomy instead of doing a myomectomy, they said that unfortunately she had lost a lot of blood and it was risky for them to do just a myomectomy. They had to just take the whole uterus out. And that really, man, when I heard that story, I was so hurt, you know what I mean? And I took it personally, like I knew the person, because I was like, that could have been me, that could have been me. And that could have been so many other women who have had a hysterectomy before, or excuse me, that have had a myomectomy before. That could have been any one of us, And the reason why I say that could have been me is because the same hospital that I had a myomectomy in, because in case you did not know, I have had a myomectomy. I actually got fibroids twice, and I ended up growing my fibroids again after having a myomectomy. And that's when I went on the journey to shrinking them on my own, because I said I was not going to do surgery again ever. And it was like the worst decision that I've ever made, having a myomectomy, because it was a really traumatic surgery. So, and hi, if you're on, please share this live. I definitely want more Black women to be able to see this live, because I'm going to be presenting so much important information. So if you're on this live, hi, welcome. Please share this live. Elandria, hey girl, I'm going to tap in with you. Yes, please do. Please do. So, I don't know if you were able to read the post that I made yesterday about the Black woman who was 29 years old, went in to get her fibroids removed. And, she went in with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was in the waiting room waiting for her. And what happened was they ended up asking her boyfriend, is it okay for them to do the full hysterectomy because she was losing too much blood? And what happened was, I guess he said yes, but that's not her husband. So legally he can't get consent if he's not a family member, if he's not her husband. So for some reason they thought that was her husband, and so they ended up having a full hysterectomy, so she's not suing the hospital. But anyway, I say all that to say that this happens more times than you think. I remember when I was having my myomectomy, I remember literally moments before I was pushed into the surgery room, they told me, okay, there's a chance that we might have to have there might have to be a hysterectomy if you're losing too much blood. And I remember being like so scared, like, oh my gosh, because of course I want to have children. So I remember being scared, like petrified, like, am I making the right decision? Something in me told me that I was not making the right decision with having a myomectomy. And I wished I would have listened to my intuition. That's why I'm so passionate about, telling more and more women that this is not the decision. This is not the best decision, because doctors make a myomectomy seem like a simple, easy surgery, and it's really not. I was told that my surgery would be like, literally in and out. Like I would be, either I would go the same day or I might have to stay overnight. That was not the case. I literally had to stay in the hospital for like 5 days. Like a myomectomy is a very serious surgery, in case you guys didn't know. And it took me a long time to get back to my, months to get back to my normal self, you know. And I've had it years ago. It's probably been like 7, 8 years, if not more now. And it's still something I regret. I regret going through that surgery, you know. And I have met, you know, this is part of the reason why I do what I do. And doing what I do, I've met so many women and talked to so many women who have had 2, 3, 4 myomectomies, fibroid surgeries. And I sit here to tell women that once you go under, especially as a Black woman, once you go under the knife, okay, when it comes to, you know, getting your fibroids removed, you don't know whether they're going to do a hysterectomy or not. Because if the doctors feel that you are losing too much blood, they can easily do a hysterectomy. And what happens with a lot of women with fibroids, they're already anemic. So the chance of losing too much blood during your myomectomy is very possible, right? So this is very scary news, especially for the women who want to have children in the future, who don't want to have their uterus removed. They, you know, you went to have go to surgery to have your fibroids removed, not your whole uterus, you know? So, and what broke my heart is the number of women that have actually gone through this. You know, the number of women that were in my inbox, the number of women that, you know, like somebody commented and said that she used to work at an OBGYN office, and she said this has happened to so many women. And I was like, were they Black? And she was like, yes. And you know, I don't know if you guys understand this, but Black women get the worst type of health care than any other race of women. That has been proven. You know, in case you didn't know, we're 3 times as likely to die in childbirth than any other race, you know, which is ridiculous. In 2022, that is the statistics. So I just want you guys to realize this. As a Black woman going into having a hysterectomy, going into having a myomectomy, you're putting yourself at risk, and you're putting yourself at the mercy of these doctors who may not have your best interest in heart as a Black woman. Okay. You're putting yourself at risk and making yourself vulnerable for people that might not really care about, you know, whether you are going to be able to have children later on or not. That might not really care. You know, they may be, you know, they may be focused on a whole other agenda than you. You know, your goal may be to remove these fibroids so you can have healthy pregnancies later on. They may not be, you know, concerned with that same agenda. That's what I want you guys to realize, okay? So if you are watching this live, please share this live, because I want more and more Black women to really see this. If I can stop one woman from getting a myomectomy from watching this live, then I've done my job. I've done my job. And I was not going to get on live today because I have so much things to do. And this is like, you know, a Saturday. I had, you know, supposed to go on and stuff. But I was like, I have to do this live. Like, I have to do this live today. So it's really, when you are, like I said, when you go in for a myomectomy, I want you to realize how serious it is and what you're actually doing to yourself, okay? You're basically, a lot of women go to myomectomies. And this is the reason I did too, because they're desperate to get instant relief, right? But here's the thing. You are going to have this surgery, right? You're going to have this traumatic surgery, because a myomectomy is a very traumatic surgery. I don't care what the doctors tell you. It's a very traumatic surgery, and the healing time it takes a long time for you to heal, okay? So you're going to put your body under this traumatic stress and have the surgery and get cut, you know what I mean? Get cut in order to get instant relief. Instead of doing the work to actually, you know, heal your body from the inside out. Instead of doing the work to actually shrink your fibroids on your own. I want you to know that your body is much more powerful than you think it is. I want you to know that your body, and this is somebody that's had fibroids twice. I've done it the surgery way, and I've done it the second time, thank God, around. I've done it where I was shrinking my own my fibroids naturally. If I could do it, anybody can do it. Am I saying that it's easy? I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm saying that it takes a commitment. You have to love yourself more than, you know, you have to love yourself more. You have to, I feel like a lot of Black women, there's a lack of self-love, and we don't really believe in ourselves, that we don't really believe that we can heal our own bodies. And that's what's really holding us back. So you have to love yourself more and really tell yourself, I have to tell myself every single day, I could do this. I can shrink my fibroids, regardless of what's going on around me, regardless of what they say in these fibroid groups, you know, where they're talking negative and telling women that they can't shrink, that you can't shrink your fibroids. Regardless, you can do it, okay? You can, am I saying it's easy? I'm not saying it's easy, and there's steps involved. It's a whole lifestyle change. It's a whole, like, you're changing a lot of things. You're literally rebalancing your hormones. You're literally getting your organs back functioning the way they're supposed to be functioning. Because if you are having fibroids, if you're having ovarian cysts, then you're dealing with weakened liver, you're dealing with weakened organs. So we have to get our organs back functioning efficiently, right? And then once you start, your body gets in that healing, you have to start flooding your body with actual nutrients. And once you start doing that, then your body comes into the state of, shrinking the fibroid, of healing and shrinking the fibroid. It's a process that goes to it. So that's why I get upset when I hear people say, oh, you just have to take out meat or dairy. It's not that simple. Okay, it's not that simple. Trust me. Okay, and that's probably why, and because of that bad advice is why a lot of people think that it's impossible to shrink your fibroids. Okay, so I want to say this, do not just go to surgery, because if you go to surgery, if you are going under for a myomectomy, then you have to put in your head that this may be a hysterectomy instead, because this is what's going on with a lot of women. In case you did not know, a lot of women, they're going for myomectomies and ended up having a full hysterectomy. So if you're okay with that, then go ahead and do the surgery. But here's the thing. I want you to realize that just because you get a hysterectomy or a myomectomy does not mean those fibroids won't come back. As a matter of fact, they're 2 to 3 times more likely to come back. If you're a black woman and you've had a myomectomy, 2 out of 3 times they're likely to come back. Most of the time they come back. If you don't change, like I said, what caused the fibroids in the first place, if you don't change what caused the fibroids to develop in the first place, then what's going to happen is they're going to come back, okay? Or what's going to happen, if, let's say you have a hysterectomy, it's going to manifest into something else. So when you have fibroids, you have estrogen dominance, right? You have elevated states of levels of estrogen in your body. So that means that your body's out of balance. So that estrogen dominance is going to go to something else. For example, it can manifest, if you take out your womb, it can manifest as, breast cancer. It can manifest into something else. So when you're doing these surgeries, you're not getting to the root cause. You're literally just doing them for temporary relief, okay? So it makes no sense to go through a surgery for temporary relief. It makes no sense. Okay, so that's why I'm encouraging you to do the work to shrink your fibroids. And if you need help, I am here. I've shrunk my own fibroids and helped many women do the same thing. Okay, I have programs designed to help women one by one, one-on-one shrink their fibroids. I literally put out a video that's very, very, very informative. That's very detailed. It's called, my 12-step process on how to shrink your fibroids or ovarian cysts. I put that video out because I wanted to help more and more women shrink their fibroids, okay, that maybe didn't have a chance to work with me one-on-one to shrink their fibroids. So if you have not, if you are watching this and you have fibroids and you have ovarian cysts and you are tired of dealing with the everyday symptoms that comes about, if you want to actually be empowered and shrink them on your own, if you want to rebalance your hormones and really get your organs working back the way they're supposed to be and make, decrease all the heavy bleeding, get your body functioning the way it's supposed to, and then get your body to actually shrink the fibroids, because you got to get your body back in balance before the fibroids start to shrink. Because if you have any type of reproductive health issue, including heavy bleeding, that means your body's all out of whack. So if you want to actually learn that step-by-step process, then make sure you check my link in the caption. Make sure you get a copy of my 12-step process on how to shrink your fibroids or ovarian cysts. It is only $97, okay? And I made it that cheap. The value really is $1,000. The amount of information that I put in that video, I went in. It's like over almost 2-hour video. So the amount of information that I put in that video is worth $9.97, but I made it $97 for this sale, okay, for Black Friday, because I want more and more women to take advantage of it. Like, I even had men buy this, probably for their girlfriends or wives, but that's how valuable this information is, okay? So I want you to be empowered and not just to feel like you have to jump to surgery, okay, in order to whenever you're dealing with anything concerning your womb, because that's actually the worst thing that you could do. Okay, you need to learn how to heal yourself from the inside out. Okay, if in case something, like, for example, you get a surgery, you get a fibroid surgery, okay, and then a couple years later, which has happened to some of my clients, they ended up with endometriosis because they didn't take care of the root cause of the fibroid. So you have to do the work in changing your lifestyle, or you're going to manifest into this whole life of having health problems if you don't change it now. Okay, I know I didn't want to go through that. So that's why I made sure that I changed I changed everything. I changed my whole lifestyle. I did not want to have fibroids again. I didn't want it to continue to reoccur for the rest of my life. So I made sure I made the necessary changes. And for those people that have hysterectomies, like I said, there's many women who have had hysterectomies and then have dire health issues afterwards because they did not do the work to get to the root cause of the problem. All they did was manage the symptoms. Okay, so very, very, very. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I encourage you to get my 12-step process on how to shrink your fibroids or ovarian cysts. It's literally going to teach you the whole process. And this is stuff that for the ladies that are mothers as well, this is stuff that you also can teach your daughters, because there's a whole group of women in there, who are teenagers that are dealing with, heavy bleeding, that's dealing with painful periods, and it's our job to educate these little girls, these young women, so they don't have to suffer like we suffered, so they don't have to suffer. Because when you're dealing with a woman, like a young girl that's dealing with heavy periods, that's dealing with painful cramps, then you're dealing with a young girl with estrogen dominance, okay? And that manifests into fibroids, that manifests into infertility, that manifests into PCOS. So it's your job as a mom to catch that early and treat that early, so she doesn't have to go through a life of dealing with, these reproductive health problems like possibly you did, or, as most Black women are dealing with today, okay? So we have to really, care more so about not just our own health, but also the health of the next generation of Black women. Because when it comes to these reproductive health issues, they're destroying us. They're literally destroying. And it's not just a womb thing. Your womb is connected to your brain. Your womb is connected to your body as well. Okay, so there's a connection there. So that's why I don't understand why people are just so, they feel, I don't understand why people are always taking out, doing the hysterectomies, because like I said, your uterus is connected to your brain. So why is that such an easy decision for us to make, to take out our whole womb? Like, that makes no sense, 1 in 3 women before the age of 60, has a hysterectomy. And if you're a Black woman, that number is like 3 times as much. So it's ridiculous. The reproductive health issues are really plaguing Black women, and a lot of people are dealing with them in silence, as well as infertility. That's a whole other thing. So, okay, so if you are dealing, like I said, with any of these reproductive health issues, get my 12 steps on how to heal your fibroids or ovarian cysts naturally. It is, like I said, it's only $97 for 2 more days. Okay. I'm tired of hearing stories of Black women going in for having fibroid surgery, but then coming out with a full hysterectomy. I'm tired of hearing stories. I've even heard stories of women dying while they were, having a myomectomy while they were in surgery, which can very well happen because, like I said, it's a very traumatic surgery. Okay. So to me, it's just like, it's common sense. We have to do the work to heal ourselves from the inside out. We can't keep looking for these quick fixes. That's not going to work anyway. We can't keep working. Surgery is not a quick fix. A myomectomy is not a quick fix. And I feel like a lot of times we look at it as that. It's just temporary. Like I said, it's temporary relief. But what happens is if you don't get to the root of the problem, what happens is your fibroids will either reoccur or will manifest into something else, another estrogen dominant, disease or condition. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of conditions, resulting from estrogen dominance. Somebody mentioned gallbladder disease. Yes, gallbladder issues. That's estrogen dominance. Allergies, estrogen dominance. PCOS, estrogen dominance. Heavy bleeding, estrogen dominance. I'm gonna do a video on estrogen dominance because literally even men are dealing with that. Prostate issues, estrogen dominance. It's really destroying our health. Breast cancer, ovarian cancer, so many other cancers as well come from estrogen dominance, okay? So if you don't do the work to heal your body, get to the root of the problem, it's going to manifest into something else, okay? So that's all I got today. If you don't have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. Feel free to also send me a message, send me a DM, okay? If you have a question, make sure that you get a copy of my 12 steps on how to shrink your fibroids or ovarian cysts. If you're dealing with fibroids, if you're dealing with ovarian cysts, make sure you get that copy of that, okay? So you don't have to be at the mercy of these doctors and these surgeries and, literally put your life at risk, just for temporary relief, because it makes no sense, okay? So that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much it. Like I said, if you have a question, let me know. feel free to send me a DM. I have sales going on, Black Friday sales. I have a sale on my 12-week transformation program for those that are interested in working with me long term. It's actually extended to 16 weeks as part of the sale, and the price is like almost 60% off. So if you're interested, send me a DM and we can get started on literally, I can work with you one-on-one on healing your womb, on getting the weight off, or on, you know, if you're dealing with infertility as well. I also help women with that as well. Okay. I know I didn't even introduce myself in this video, but I've helped 3 women overcome infertility, in case you guys did not know. Okay. So, hey, just joining, does having perm hair cause fibroids? Yes, it does. So relaxers do cause fibroids as well. There's a group of, because of the chemicals in relaxers, unfortunately, because of the chemicals, it disrupts the hormones. So yes, that's definitely, so you definitely have to be careful about what products you're putting on your hair, for sure. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll come back and answer them on this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you guys get a copy of my 12 steps on how to heal your, shrink your fibroids. All right. Bye, guys.